What's up, everyone? This is Kronos, aka Adam, with a little less hair than last time. I went a little shorter. What are you going to do? It grows back. Or, in my case, maybe, maybe not. Who knows? I am back with my Night 2 Fyter Fest AEW preview and predictions. As always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Social media's down there. Just going to go over the matches for tonight's action. Give my predictions, both Shoot, Kayfabe, and my confidence points. Just to go over it real quick. Shoot is who I actually think is going to win. Kayfabe is who I want to win. And then confidence points, there are 6 matches. You assign your values from the most confident 6 to the least confident 1. If you get the prediction correct, you take that value, add it to your total, and at the end of the night, you find out what your score is. Last week, I did terrible. I only got 2 out of the 5 matches correctly. So usually I'm a little better than that, but anyway, so just gonna go straight to it. There are 6 matches on the card for tonight. First match, we have Nyla Rose in action. We don't actually know who her opponent is. She says that she has something special for everybody, but we have no idea. We haven't seen her. I don't think since she have we seen her since? We might have seen her one time since she lost the title. So, Shoot, obviously Nyla's going to win. Kayfabe, I think they need to keep Nyla strong, so, to have somebody like random come in and she lose to, unless it's someone huge, like a huge name or something, but I don't know why she would bring in somebody huge and then lose to them, so it just wouldn't make sense. Because we don't know who it is, and I assume it's going to be some kind of jobber, I'm giving this my most confidence, because I don't think they're going to make her lose on that. So 6 points of confidence on Nyla Rose. Next, we have Lance Archer versus Joey Janela. They've actually been building this up pretty well the last few weeks. You see them fighting in between matches. Obviously, Joey Janela's line is "the bad boy never dies," because Lance Archer says everybody dies. Inserting Sonny Kiss into the mix because of their tag team has been really good. But I do think it's a little bit of a step down for Lance Archer. I mean, he was just fighting for the... he was in the finals of the TNT title tournament, was fighting him for the tournament. Sorry. Another little bug. Not as big as the last one. I got that motherfucker. Anyway. So it is a little bit of a step down for Lance. Obviously, this is boosting up Joey Janela, though, by facing someone the likes of Lance Archer. I hope this is a good match, but I could see it just being an absolute squash by Lance. So go to my predictions. Shoot, Lance. Kayfabe, I do want Lance to win because I do think I like to keep him strong, and Joey Janela can take a loss. It's not that big of a deal to him. So I'm pretty confident in this. This is going to get 5 points of confidence. So our next match, we have SCU, Scorpio Sky, Frankie Kazarian, Christopher Daniels versus the Dark Order, consisting of Brody Lee, Mr. Brody Lee, Stu Grayson, Born and Bred for Combat, and Colt Cabana, as he is now quasi in the Dark Order. We don't know exactly where he stands. Originally Colt Cabana was brought in with, helping out SCU against the Dark Order before the Exalted One was actually named. It's kind of a nice... not of a nice, but just interesting reversal of how it is now. Even when he was told who he was facing, those are his friends. He's known them for years, so it's, kind of a weird spot for him, but obviously he wants to keep on the winning track. Is Colt actually going to join the Dark Order? Like, we don't know. I mean, all signs point to him. He supposedly dresses with them, talks to them, hangs out with them. Now he's teaming with them. So we'll see what happens. Will we ever see? This is just personal. Will we ever see what happened with Anna Jay? Maybe she gets involved. She's the next recruit for the Dark Order. Based on BTE, they had another recruit, but I'll do that during my AEW weekend review. So my predictions. It's also a little same thing like Lance Archer, kind of a step down for Brody Lee. I do think he needs to be, I think they pushed him too far into the title picture to start, and now that he lost, it's kind of like, now what do you do with him? Because now he was just in the title picture. What do you do? So hopefully they keep whatever he is, whatever he's doing strong. So I do think the Dark Order will win. I want the Dark Order to win because I want Brody Lee to be kept strong. I don't want him to seem like a joke. Even on BTE, they've made him a little bit jokey, and the Dark Order kind of a joke. I'm not exactly sure. Kind of middle of the road with this one. Only 3 points of confidence on this one. Next, we have the only title match since the John Moxley Brian Cage match was moved to next week for a Fight for the Fallen. So this is the only title match we have on the cards. The AEW Tag Team titles, Kenny Omega and Hangman Page, fresh off their win last week against Best Friends, against Private Party, who beat Santana Ortiz last week to be the number one contender. Private Party, obviously winning last week, as I said, was what gave him this opportunity. There's still tensions between Kenny and Hangman after last week with everything that happened with FTR and pouring out the beer. We've seen it on this past week's BTE, but since it's not technically canon, I won't really get into it. Once Hangman and Kenny beat Best Friends, I don't see them losing for a little while. I feel like we're gonna keep this going up into a crescendo when it all bursts, and then obviously it's going to be the Bucks or FTR or some combination of like a three-way match between them, where they're finally going to lose. So shoot, Kenny and Hangman, kayfabe. I want Kenny and Hangman. I think it's still too soon for Private Party, and if they do put the straps on them, it's kind of an awkward spot. So 4 points of confidence on this. Pretty confident that they're going to retain. Then we get my most anticipated match of the night. It's going to be Chris Jericho versus freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. Since this match actually wasn't taped, it isn't going to be live. Jericho, not a spoiler, but he said that this was one of his favorite matches of recent memory. And that doesn't necessarily have to be a win or a loss. You just have a really fun time. Jericho's like that. He wouldn't say something like that if he thought that would give something away either way. When he wants to, Cassidy is a great wrestler. He's a huge draw. He's very popular. But I do think Jericho needs to be back on track. I think him losing now would kind of just, obviously there's a lot of turmoil with the inner circle. Obviously with, Sammy Guevara being suspended, and then Hager losing, Santana Ortiz losing. They lost at Double or Nothing in the Stadium Stampede, so they haven't been on a winning streak for a while now. I think this is where they need to start building them back up, and so they don't look like a choke of a faction. So shoot, I do think Jericho's going to win. Kayfabe, obviously I'm going to go with Orange Cassidy because I love Orange Cassidy, but I really don't have a lot of confidence in this. This could go either way. They could make Jericho lose but still look strong. It could be some kind of like cheap victory for Cassidy, a roll-up win or something like that. So I only have 1 point of confidence on this one. And then we get to what I believe is going to be the main event. It's going to be an 8-man tag, Young Bucks and FTR versus Butcher and the Blade and Lucha Brothers. I hope they stretch out this FTR Young Bucks feud for a while. I mean, this is a very highly anticipated match that the world has wanted to see for years. So I don't want them to make it too soon for everything that's going on. Obviously, Lucha Brothers are back. They had their first match back on Dark this past week, teaming with Butcher and the Blade, kind of like a preview of what they're going to do in the 8-man. They looked really good there. I wonder if Hangman and Kenny will factor in some way, whether during the match, or after the match, since FTR factored into their match after the fact, and even though they did kind of show up in the middle of it, but they didn't really do much to distract. So my predictions, I have the shoot winning, Bucks and FTR. Kayfabe, I want the Bucks and FTR to win because I just think it would be too soon to have them lose. And Butcher and Blade and Lucha Brothers don't lose anything, especially if it's a good match. Butcher and Blade have been pretty much losers, except when they're playing fighting Enhanced Talent. And Lucha Brothers are great, and I think they can in a match like this is different. If it was a regular tag match, it'd be a little different depending on who they're facing. But still not 100% confident in it because they could have them lose and then they Bucks and FTR fight each other or something like that. So only 2 points of confidence on this one. And there you have it, really quick. These are my preview and predictions for Night 2 later tonight for Fyter Fest for AEW on TNT. As always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Social media is down there. So enjoy, stay safe, love each other, and as always, bye now. Yeah. No, I went a little short, a little too short. I mean, it's practically bald. I'm like one step away from like tattooing hair on my head. It's pretty embarrassing. Yeah, I mean, it would look pretty stupid if I did that. Tattoo hair? I got a guy. Gotta call you back. No, that was a joke. I'm not gonna do that.